the Human Iceberg Theory. So I inspired by Freud and some of my performance psychology, courses that I'd been on and all the books that I'd read, I quickly started to ask questions around. There were three different layers to personal development with a person. What people tend to do, and you might be familiar with this, is people tend to focus on the outbound behaviors and characteristics of an individual. So if you've gone on any course, you might have gone on Myers-Briggs testing, insight, social styles. You're learning what color you are. I'm a fiery red and I'm an earth green and all the rest of it. And then you get all this analysis and says you're directive, you're amiable, So we always focus on how we project ourselves to the world, the above the waterline behaviors that people see and observe in you. That's what I call the part of the human iceberg, which is the above the waterline. But for me, what people were growing frustrated with is they grew frustrated with the fact that you'd go on one of these courses, you'd learn a lot about yourself, and then you'd go back into the workplace. 2 days later, you'd get pissed off, rip somebody's head off, and go, sorry about that. I'm a red because I've been on this course. Does that make sense? So you go, sorry about that, I'm a red. So you'd use it as a justification for your behavior rather than a mechanism to intervene.
Yeah.
Now, the only way that I could not become one of those companies was to write a module that went deeper than ever before. So I talked about what are the underlying things that drive that behavior in that individual. And through my studies and through speaking with psychologists and really putting a lot of information together, we formed the middle of the iceberg, which is unconscious motivators. And then the bottom of the iceberg was, where do those motivators come from? And what we discovered when we asked a series of questions over interviews to people is that between the ages of 1 to 21 years old, through our parenting, the way our parents parented us, our social exposure, so the mates we grew up with or the state we knocked around on, and our educational, so parental, social, educational, through them three main environments, that's called our sense of purpose. We have events that happened, which in psychology are called anchors. Those anchors cause the motivations to form in you, which then drive and regulate your behavior above the waterline. So once I wrote the piece on the human iceberg, we devised an entire module, an entire day where we would uncover your behaviors, your motivators, and establish your sense of purpose, where it came from.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Business Lockdown.
Please comment, like, share and subscribe to help build our global community.
We look forward to seeing you all soon.